Hello guys, welcome back to my sewing corner. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. Thank you for stopping by, and do not forget to join this amazing community by clicking on the red subscribe button and also turning on the bell. That way you can get notifications every time I upload new useful videos. Okay, so this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to draft, cut, and also sew this princess that bustier piece. Okay, so this is for the front piece. So here you have the one for the back piece. You can see how beautiful it's looking. So let's just go straight into the video. So guys, for this tutorial for the princess that's bustier that I'm going to be drafting, I'm going to be working with this my net fabric, and I'm going to be using this doll face satin fabric to line the net. Okay, so we're going to use it to draft the bustier and the front piece and the back bodies. Okay, so here I have my tools, my ruler, my tape roll pen, pins, and then my scissors. Okay, so I've already folded my fabric the right side in. So I'm going to mark 0.5 inch from the top of my fabric here so that it will start at my starting line and also my shoulder line. Okay, and the half inch will serve as my allowance for the shoulder joining. Okay, now from this point I'm going to mark my vertical measurement. So from this point, from my shoulder line to this point is the armhole depth. From this shoulder line to this point is the bust point. From this shoulder line also to this point is the under bust. And from here to here is my half length. And this is the allowance for joining. Okay. So the next thing you're going to do is to take your shoulder measurements. I'm going to take my shoulder measurement here and here on my shoulder line and also on my chest line. And my shoulder line is actually 16 inches. So divided by 2 because it's on fold, that's 8 inches. And I'm going to add half inch allowance. Okay, half inch. That's 8.5 in total. I'll do the same thing here. You mark 8.5 here as well. So I'm going to come down by 1 inch here for the shoulder slope. That's like fixed, is constant. So I'm just going to connect this point to the 1 inch slope. Next thing, you're going to determine your neck width so that you can connect your shoulder slope. So for this project, I'm going to make it 4.5. Okay. Then the neck depth you want. Okay. So I'll make it 3.5. Okay. Then you connect your neckline. Depending on the type of neckline that you want. So you connect your shoulder slope from here to here. Okay. Then my shoulder joining, the allowance I had it at first. Okay. So that's it. So for next thing, I'm going to find the midpoint of this line, my shoulder, my armhole line. Okay. So I should have 9 inches left there. Yes, then that means the midpoint will be 4.5. Okay, so I'll come in by 3/4 inch. So if you're working with a smaller bodies, you can use 0.5 inch. Okay, so I'm going to use 3/4 inch here. So to connect my armhole, I'm going to take my bust circumference on this chest line. Okay, and that's your bust circumference divided by 4. So for me, it's 12 inches. Okay, so you connect this point to this point and to this one to give you your armhole. Okay, so that's it for the armhole. Now I'm going to find the midpoint of this curve. Okay, so first you measure what you have and then you find the midpoint. So I have about 11 inches here, so that means the midpoint will be 5.5. Okay, so which is around this place. Okay, now I'm going to come to my bust. This is my bust point line, and I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurements from this bust point to the allowance here. So my bust span is actually 9. The distance between one nipple to another nipple is 9 inches divided by 2. Since it's on fold, that is 4.5. But I'm going to be adding half inch allowance for this side. So in total, I'm going to mark out what, 5 inches up to the bust point. not the chest line, please. Now connect this line to this dot, okay? Connect the two dots together in a straight line, okay? So I'm going to come down by 3/4 inch so that my dart will be narrow towards that point, towards the bust point. So I don't want it to be big or pronounced on the bust point. So that's it, 3/4 inch, okay? So you're going to connect this point to this point. Please take note that when you're making your princess darts, don't elongate this line. Let your dart start immediately after the bust point, okay? Don't elongate it. So many of us make that mistake a lot. Don't elongate it, please take note. So from this point, I'm going to mark 2 inches outward. This is because I'm working with a big measurement. So if you're working with a medium size, you can make use of 1.5. You can use 1.5 inches. And for a small bodice, you can make use of 1 inch. It all depends on how you want your bust point to protrude. And I'm also going to reduce this one so that it can be really pronounced, okay? And I'll reduce it by what's 3/4 inch. You can reduce it by 1/2 inch. So I'll connect this together. So you're going to connect this to this and also this one to this, okay? So that's it, you just connect it like so. Then to make this place more firm, we're going to insert that here as well. So I'm going to measure 1 inch here and 1/2 inch here. So I want to connect this to this point and this to this point. Please make it narrow towards the bust point, or better still just mark the 1/4 inch and connect it. So this is what I have, okay? Now we're going to return what we have taken so that we don't have shortage. So here I've already taken 1.5 for the dart. By the time I cut it, you're going to have this part separate and this part separate. So you need 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch here to join them together. So in total, I'm going to add about 2.5 inches. Then you mark your 2.5 inches here as well so that you can connect it together. Okay, so I hope we can all see it. So now with this, you're not going to have any shortage at the armhole. Okay, now let's now insert. I'm going to insert my horizontal measurements, my bust circumference, my underbust, and also my waist circumference. So my bust circumference is 12 inches divided by 4 is 12 inches. And here, I already gave 1/2 inch here when I was taking my dart measurement. So I will need 1/2 inch on this side. So I'm going to add 1/2 inch for the joining allowance, okay? So whatever allowance you want to add for your ease, you give it. So I'm just going to add 2 inches because I don't want it to be too wide, okay? So you come to the underbust as well. You take your underbust circumference. Mine is 10 inches. So I've taken 3 inches here, 2 3/4 here. And this side already has 1/2 inch allowance. So this side needs 1/2 inch. So 2 3/4 plus 1/2 inch will be what? 3/4. So I'm going to add the 3/4 here. Can you see that? Or better to just say 2 3/4 first. Okay. Then you add 1/2 inch to it. Then the allowance you want to give. So I gave this side 2 inches. I'm also going to give it 2 inches. Okay. Okay. So the same. So we'll come to the bust and the half length as well, the waist circumference, and you take your measurements also. So mine is 11. The same allowance I gave here, I'm going to give back since it's the same thing, 2 3/4. Okay, then the 2 inches allowance. Okay, so now I'm going to connect the line. So right now we'll cut it. So guys, this is what we have for the princess that for the front princess that bustier for the front piece. Okay, so now I'm going to draft the back piece. Okay, so guys, here I have my back piece. As you can see, I've already marked out and then ruled my vertical measurements, and this is my zip allowance. Okay, 2 inches zip allowance. That's it there. So, and from this is my shoulder line. So from the shoulder line to this point is the chest line. From here to here is the bust point, and from here to here on the bust, here to there is the half length or shoulder to waist. So next thing, I'm going to take my shoulder line from my zip allowance. I took 8.5 for the front. The same thing I will do here as well. So I'll come to the chest line as well and take the 8.5. Come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then I'll connect it to form my armhole line. Then take my neck line. So for the front, I use neck width of 4.5. The same thing I'm going to use here. For the neck depth, I'm going to use neck depth 6 inches. Then you connect your neckline. It all depends on how you want your shape you want for your neckline. So you connect the shoulder slope and the shoulder joining. I hope we can see it because I don't want to use a very bright pen. So I'll come here and find the midpoint of my armhole line. So I'll have 4.5. Okay, I'm going to take my bust circumference here. Okay, so I'm going to connect that for my armhole collar. Okay, so for the back, I'm not going to be putting any princess that. I'm just going to impute my waist that. Okay, I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement as well from the chest line. Okay, remember I used 5 inches up to the extreme hand here. And I'll connect it. You come to the half length here, and then you mark. I'm going to mark 3/4 on both sides of my dart leg. So for your smaller bodies, you can use 1/2 inch. So I'll connect this 3/4 to this point. So I'm going to make it narrow. Okay, now I'm going to take my horizontal measurement. Okay, so my bust circumference is 12 inches. Here I have about 1/2 inch for the dart. I'm going to have the 1/2 inch back, so I won't have shortage. And I'm going to give it 2 inches allowance. Okay, I'll come to my half length. You don't have to consider your under bust here. Half length is 11, and I already took 1.5 inches here. You had it back. Basically, I'm just going to split this open. Okay, the half length for the front and that of the back are not the same. The front is usually longer than that of the back, usually 2 inches shorter. So now I'm going to come to this where the zip will sit, and I'm going to subtract 2 inches from the length, including the allowance. Can you see that? 2 inches. Can you see? Then I'll connect those 2 inches from this my zip. Please consider it from the zip. Just going to slanting it up to the sides here. The reason you're connecting it to the side is because you want your front and back piece to join together at the same point. Another way you can do this is to just make sure you input a bust dart to the front piece. But since we did not put a bust dart there, this is one method that will work effectively. So I'm just going to connect them before I cut. So this helps to reduce zip bulge. So if you don't have any allowance for the normal, there's another way of reducing zip bulge where you just insert a dart at this your zip position. Okay, I explained it in one of my tutorials. I'm going to link it up in the description. So that's it, guys. We can cut it out and the back piece is ready. So for this dart leg, what you can do is to come here and just extend it so that you don't have shortage. It's better you have excess than shortage. So if you don't want to use this method, you can do the darts. You can input your darts at that zip position so that it can reduce, or can also reduce the zip bulge. Okay, so it's optional. So like I said, I'm only going to slit that place open. Okay, so this is what I have for the back piece. Okay, so let me show you. So you can see what it's looking like. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, I'm just going to transfer all of it to this my net fabric. You know, this is the main fabric, this is just the lining. Okay, so I'm going to transfer it, and once I'm done with that, I'll show you what next to do. See, I've cut out the net for all of them, both one for the front and the back, as you can see, and that's it, guys. So if you want to put your interfacing, okay, because it's a net fabric, you have to join your interfacing with this lining. Okay, so now how do you now conceal that? You know, by the time you sew it this way, you first sew this one, then you sew it together with your interfacing, then you cut another doll face to conceal your interfacing. Okay, so because you're using the net material, you're going to first cut out this lining, cut it twice for each piece. Okay, so you're going to be sewing this fabric, the net, the lining, and also the interfacing or the wadding, and then you cut another lining to conceal your stitches for the interfacing. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope you find it useful, and if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.